Hi everybody, welcome to our podcast on active transport. In this one, we're going to explore another way in which molecules move across the cell membrane. We've already spent a bunch of time talking about diffusion and osmosis, which we know just happens. The cell doesn't ever have to expend any additional energy for diffusion and osmosis to happen. However, if we're talking about active transport, this is where the cell begins to expend the energy that it has. So we're going to jump right in. So just to remind ourselves, in diffusion, we have molecules that move down a concentration gradient. So just to kind of remind us, we have the high concentration up here, and molecules move from where they are highly concentrated down to low concentration. Okay, and so this is going to be the net movement of molecules down that gradient, right? Well, sometimes it's important for molecules to move things in the opposite direction. What if molecules need to go from where there are less to where there are more? That's kind of weird, right? So in this case, this is where the cell actually has to use energy, because if you think of it this way, if I have a boulder, right? Here's my hill again, okay? If I have a boulder sitting up here, right, and I'm standing, there I am, and I want to see the boulder roll downhill. I don't have to do anything. I just let it go. Gravity is going to pull it down. I don't have to do anything. However, if I have a hill and I have a boulder at the bottom of the hill and I want it to go up the hill, I can't just stand there and watch it. I am going to actually have to push it up. So what does that mean? That means I am going to have to use energy and actually push it up to the hill. This is sort of what a cell has to do. So let's really take a look. So what is active transport? Active transport is the movement of molecules against the concentration gradient. Okay, against the gradient. That means going in the other direction. So in this case, we're moving molecules from where there are less of them to where there are more. We're going up the gradient in this case. So let me just kind of walk you through it. This requires energy, and energy for us comes in the form of a small molecule called ATP. And we are going to talk more and more about what ATP is, but this is our little cash currency of energy that our cells use. We build up little stores of ATP from the glucose that our mitochondria inside our cell break down. Okay, so that's how that works. So here's what happens. Here I have a sequence where I have higher calcium concentration outside. Notice I have a bunch of dots here, okay, and I have only a couple dots there. However, I'm going to use some ATP. Normally, diffusion is going to take these calcium ions here and move them across. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of ATP to bind to this transport protein. This is where proteins in our cell membrane come in play. I'm going to use those. That's going to bind to my protein, change the shape of my protein, grab hold of some of these calcium ions here, and pull them into the protein channel. From there, that energy is going to cause that protein to shift, and it is going to ship it up through the bilipid layer here, and then spit it out the other side. Okay, and in doing so, it's used some energy up. And then it returns back to the original shape that it was. So that's active transport. In this case, I'm going to move something that's diffusing in one direction, grab it and push it back across, because no matter what, diffusion is sending these molecules down the gradient, but the cell doesn't, let's say the cell doesn't want to lose these. So the cell is going to have to pull them back in. And we are going to look at this when we do the diffusion box in class. We're going to spend some time playing around with what active transport means as far as moving molecules through transport proteins to not, let's say, lose them or to even get rid of them. Okay, so all active transport is the movement of molecules against the concentration gradient, going from low concentration to high, and in this case, the cell has to expend energy. So there you have it. So that's what active transport is. So have a great night, and we'll see you guys in class. Take it easy.